All right, today we are going to apply using descriptive analytics, including cleaning data sets, summary statistics, correlation, and followed by visualization. So let's start with using a first bank example. What we have different data sets for customers, including credit, income, and other features for their historical data. So first of all, we'll use ETL approach, which means you extract the whole original data set and transform them or clean them, and then load them to the sheet that you want to process some of the data. So I will start by copy and pasting the whole data set. Ctrl I and copy, and then press button, the plus button, and then you can just paste the whole data sets. So to be able to explore the whole data, I will go ahead with data tab and then filter. So press anywhere within your data and then select the filter. You have the drop down menu to now find the outlier for your columns. So based on example, we knew that some of the issues are regarding income columns. I will highlight them to make sure that we can process them easily, and credit score, and also interest rate and purpose. So we should clean those columns. So I will check credit, have the number from 79.8 all the way through 840. However, we know that credit score can't be smaller than 300. So this number should be revised. So I click select all and just select 79.8, the number that I need to change it. So it might be 798 instead of 79.8. And similarly, I would do that with another cell, income. So again, should select all to have all the data sets. And for income, the unit is $1,000. And for income, I expect to have all the data in the same range, $1,000. However, we have a large number, so it might be 96,000, for example, dollar. So, however, we have a large number, so it means that it might be 96.128 with the unit of $1,000. So I should fix that number. So let's unselect all and then just select this number. And you can change it to 96.128, and then select all, check. So now that's the time for purpose. So based on example of a data dictionary you had in the PowerPoint, you can see the purpose of loan has 4 categories: DC, AE, HI, and O. So you can see the slide number 12 on your PowerPoint. So we can see the purpose, and I should expect to have 4 categories. However, we have more categories, and we have debt, which is not within our original category, and also blanks, which means blank cells that we need to take care of those issues. So unselect all, just select debt and also blanks. So first of all, it might be debt consolidation, which is stands for DC. And the next, I can put other because I don't have any information for them. So unselect all, we have all the numbers again. And again, use the drop-down menu, see interest rate is starting from 7% all the way through 21%. However, the first number is very small, it's almost 0. So it might be 8% instead of 0.08%. Unselect all and just select the number that I need to change it, 8%. Alright, so I fixed all the issues. I actually cleaned my data, right? So I finished the first step. Perfect. So now that's the time to go ahead with the second part of my analysis, which is summary statistics, and get some insights from my data. And then I should upload or load these clean data to my new worksheet. Then Control A and copy, or Command A, and then Command V. So I pasted my data sets here. Again, I can also add data and filter to have a drop-down menu. And then for summary of statistics, we have 2 approaches. One is using function, and the other one is to use data analysis tool pack. So let's start with functions first. a mean, median, mean, a minimum value, maximum value for each column or each data, and also a standard deviation. Which now start with mean. So for every single function that you want to enter, you should start with using equal sign and then put the name of function. So for example, for average, I will simply use average, and then you should put the numbers. So I select the first cell and then use Command Shift and press upper arrow on your keyboard and enter. So you have the average. However, the number is not similar to the dates that we have on this column, so it's very important to match your data formatting as it makes sense. So let's say it's date, so I need also to change that formatting to date here. You can see different formatting: number, percentage, currency, depending on the type of variable that you have. And similarly, you can do the same for median and Command Shift all the way through the whole data sets. And the easiest way to match the formatting is to tell that you want to match the format with that, and then use that small icon here, copy formatting. When you hovering over that icon, you can see copy formatting, and select the second cell, which is equal to a median, and you can match the formatting actually here. And similarly, I can do the same for the minimum values. So use mean function, and if entering is not working, just close parentheses manually and then enter. And again, I match the formatting here and maximum of my data sets. Okay, excellent. Now we have this analysis. So SCDEV, use .s, not .p, because .p is for population, but here we have sample of your historical data, so you should use that option and then close. You can also put labels for your data sets. So before further moving on to the next variable, it's very important to know that all the summary statistics and correlation analysis are applicable to numerical variables, which means that I need to extract or remove the categorical data. The easiest way to actually have all these numerical variables within your center of your data sets, and then put the categorical variables on the right hand side, which means that I put here in the labels. So if you go ahead and see, we have two categorical variables, employment and purpose, and also ID number. So ID number is the place is good because it's left hand side, so we don't care about this column, and we need to move these two columns to the right hand side to make sure that we are not counting these two columns for numerical analysis. And then I can change yeah, okay, I can change this direction similarly. Labels for each column as matching with the first row here, and that the other way is to also freeze your first row actually, because we have 4,000 rows actually. So if you want to freeze the first row, so that if you scroll down you can see still see the labels, so you can see go to view option and freeze pane. So I can freeze top row, and if I scroll down, it's a very useful option. You can see, for example, if you scroll down to which each column is related based on these labels. And then I can also use the same labels for my summary statistic. You can see here, right? They're matching together. So to expand your formula to the rest of cells in the right hand side, you can actually use the good option here. You can select the smallest square you can see the corner of the cell and just drag it all the way through the right hand side. But you might see that strange number because the formatting is based on date, so you need to match the formatting based on each variables. For example, for credit, again, go ahead with home and select this small icon and then select cell. Just select change the formatting. Even you can do it manually. And then select the formatting from here, because now this formatting is based on date, so you need number, for example, just put number. And yeah, do the same for the rest. So you need percentage here, so change it to percentage, and loan is number, term is number again, and rate is percentage. So these are the good Excel features, and you need to know that. And yeah, here just select the whole column and then just drag it all the way through here. And if you want to match the formatting, select this credit column and then put it number, and income put it number, and debt is actual number. Similarly, DTI is percentage. So we only have it for the first cell. So now we can also do the correlation. So to see the relationship between these two variables as pairs of variables to get some more insights. And I can use it because we need the pairs comparison. So paste, however, you should use transpose so they can transpose the data. So instead of manually putting the labels, that's the easiest way. So now for manual correlation analysis, put equal sign correl. You need two arguments, and you should select the first variable data and comma the second variable. So we have data and date, so it's easy for us, only date. So select date, the first one, and similar the one that you select the range of data. So you can see the function in front of this function bar here as well. So press put comma and again select date again. So we repeat this range again and enter. So we have obviously correlation of 1 within the same variable. So you should again use correl, and then you can do the same. However, instead of date and date, you should have date and credit. So we can do the same approach for the rest, and then we can fill the data here. However, it's going to be time consuming, so instead of that I might use another approach using data analysis tool pack. So now let's see we filled that information. Now we want to use a conditional formatting to clarify, to visualize our correlation analysis. So use color scale. We have different options. You might see, first of all, select all this number and go ahead in home tab and conditional formatting, and you can see different options. So the highest, so the coding is based on the highest or lowest numbers. So the highest, you can see the top rows are, for example, green, and the lower ones, the lower numbers are red. And here the similarly for example, if I want to select this one, the highest color means the highest number, which is positive one in our case, and the lowest number, which means the negative relationships or negative correlations, are colored by blue. So we can see and get some insights from that quickly. Instead of just going over all these numbers one by one, we can see, okay, so there is a high correlation between rate and credit, which is negative, and we can see by having higher credit score we can decrease the interest rate, for example. And the same for the rest of variables, we can get some insights. So now let's go ahead with using analysis tool pack. So go ahead with data tab and data analysis that you need to install. So I want to first to go ahead with descriptive statistics to get some information about like mean, average, median, and some other additional information. So I will select descriptive statistics and select OK. What is my input range? Please note that all numerical variables should be selected, so no categorical variables. That's why I moved these two categorical variables, which is employment or purpose, to the right hand side. So I will select all the data. Even you can start from the label or using just numbers. So I will select the first row of my numerical variables, and then Command Shift and down arrow, and I will select group by columns because variables are grouped by column, and labels in the first row I won't check that because I didn't select labels. If you select the labels, just make sure that you select this box as well. And output range either can be new worksheet. If you select OK, the results are going to be generated in new worksheet. However, I prefer to keep my result in the same sheet. So I select output range within the same sheet. So I should select where I need to put these results. So select one just random empty cell that you make sure that you have a lot of space for your table to be generated. So select summary statistics, and then that's it. You can generate your results. Okay, beautiful. I can also make it better. I put the labels, things like that, and we have a label on top of each column. Now for correlation, go ahead with data tab and then select data analysis and select correlation. And similarly, we have the same range, input range, which is selected, and output range. I need to just have it in the bottom of my summary statistics. And that's it. Select OK, and then you have so now I put those labels on top of each column, and then that's the time for doing conditional formatting. Select all the data and numbers within the table, and then go ahead with home and conditional formatting, color scale. So I will select this one again, full pack. So now let's go ahead with the next option, which is the filter subset. So I filtering subset. So again, I will put the same dataset I use for summary statistics. I will use this dataset because I moved this employment on purpose to the right hand side. So I have all the numerical variables in within the center of datasets. So let's select all and copy and paste these numbers here. Yeah, here. So always freeze the first row of your sheet so that you can see the table when you scroll down, especially when you have a lot of data sets. So I will also add the filter so that I have the drop down menu. So now I want to filter data so the bank is interested to see the record only for the ones who has higher credit scores greater than or equal to 720, as well as the ones with smaller DTI with a range of less than or equal to 32%. So I will put these conditions to credit. Here, first of all, choose greater than or equal to 720 and close. And DTI should be less than or equal to 32% and close. So now we have hidden rows. So you can see the change of the numbers here in the left hand side of your row numbers within sheet. So these are the some of the actual rows are hidden now. So of all, I want to keep the original analysis for my record here to be able to compare them with each other. So paste a spatial and just values because I don't need formula for now. The subset of my data sets. Okay, I prepared this structure for my summary statistics for filter datasets. So for filtering, always use aggregate function. So use aggregate, you have all the options for function number, you can read arguments when you select the function options and also range of your data. So for average, this is the first option, select average and comma, and then the second one is the option. So for the option, always select ignore hidden rows and then comma and select all your data sets. So the rest are similar to the other functions. So do this similarly for median, aggregate and select median here. Even you can also select this top bar here to put your function and aggregate. The median one is here 12 and ignore hidden rows and again select your data. That's it. And aggregate. I would say aggregate again and then mean option 5 and select your data. Now we have all this calculation for the subset of your data. So you can do the same for the rest of your data, and then if you fill that information again, we can also drag the smallest square and then just all the way to the right hand side, but make sure that you just change the formatting. Should be date here, sorry, number, and here should be number again. So because we have numbers all the way to the right hand side with 2 columns only with percentage, which is DTI, right, and as well as rate, that should be percentage. I also have percentage here. Alright, so now we have all the results for filtered dataset, and also you can compare them. For example, you can see the average credit scores are higher than the normal or original datasets, which makes sense because we only filter the ones higher than 720. So we expect to have higher average. And similarly, you can also analyze the rest of your data. Alright, for the last part is to use visual map. So add new sheet, and the question is asking for drawing your data using line chart to visualize the number of loans and percentage of default over time. So let's use the original data sets that we put here. So it's not the filter one, okay? So now I want to calculate the number of loans and percentage defaults per year. So for the sake of time, I will just put the output results that we need to visualize. Here's the output results. So I put the results here that I need for visualization. For more details regarding how we calculate the number of loans, the percentage of default, you can just refer to Excel cheat sheet to see which formatting of which formulas and functions we use to calculate these ones, using year, sum if, and count if as well, as you can see. So for visualization of using line chart, it's easy that you can just use insert tab and then go ahead with line chart and select this line bar here. So basically it selected the whole data set. However, we need to define first of all which variables are our output variables and which ones is our input variable. So we know that for number of loans and percentage defaults, they are our output variables. So they should be on y-axis. However, we need to see this progress or data over time, meaning that the years should be our x-axis. So let's clarify. Using color code is always good to differentiate between your variables types. So the orange ones are my variables, output ones. So let's right click on your chart and go ahead with select data, and always within series box you should put only your output or y-axis variables. Okay, so year it shouldn't be here, so I should remove year and just number of loans and percentage of default. So always you can change the name here, you can just I can type it, or you can select the label right away here to have a name for your labels and output variables, and you can put the range of data. For loans I will select y values, select this one, and then I should only select this part. And for percentage of defaults, again I should select the percentage of the defaults, and that's it. And the horizontal category axis label is always the years, right, because I need to see those variables over time, and just click OK. So there's a small issue here because I need to know that the results based on 2 output variables. However, I have one axis. I have only primary axis here. So I need to add secondary axis. So for adding secondary axis, that it's for, so here we have a data visualization for loans. However, as you can see that there is nothing for percentage of default, so we need to add secondary access for that results. So select that line and go to data series. So you should have format data series, because I need to format, change the format to secondary access, and then just close it. You have now all the results visualized with 2 accesses here, right? And then you can just add labels. You can go to chart design, add primary vertical axis title and primary horizontal, secondary vertical axis, right? So you can see, for example, the gray color is percentage of defaults, which should be based on percentage. So I can say, okay, these labels should be percentage of defaults. And the next one is my number of loans. So let's put loan here. Great. So you see how we can communicate now but results better using this visualization. You can see the trend for number of loans, which means increasing in the beginning of the year, and then again the trend is a little bit steady. And for percentage of defaults, we have 2 peaks, for example, which is, for example, regarding to pandemic during 2020 and during the time that there was economic recession, for example. So you can get some more insights when you put visualization into your results. So that's it for today. And just make sure you go over the Excel cheat sheet and always practice these examples over and over. Thank you.